All right, I'm gonna give you some hints when using the Arduino with the push button. So let's look at the way the button signal will work. So there's high parts and then there's low parts. And it could be a low part, it could be a high part. All right, so items that are important that we kind of look at is, let's say, let me highlight all this high in red. And these high items and the way our board is connected is high means that we're not touching the button. And then we have, let's put in green, these low parts here. The way we have our button working is this means that we're holding down the button. And what we're doing in the lab is we're trying to see when we press the button. And the way we're going to deal with the press is let's do these light blue items that I really kind of just want to look at when we make these transitions. Now these transitions we're going to say goes from the high to the low. The high to the low, we want to only count it one time. Okay, so let's say we're doing that. If in our loop we do something as follows and say our button is equal to the digital read at, our button pin. Okay, this here will tell us high or low. And you might say, okay, what I want to do is, let's just say, I want to say if this button is equal to low, then this is a press. But we got to remember that this loop will go through, and it comes back, and it goes through again, it comes back, and it keeps going back and forth all the time. If we were to write this code, what would happen is all this time in green, you're going to be doing the code that's inside here. So if you just wanted to do something like increment how many times you press, you're going to see this get, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, a lot of times. So this code right here, it's not going to work for us. Just not able to do that. What we're trying to look for is like this little blue part to say, I'm going down and I'm coming up. Okay, so what could we do on that? Well, what you could do on that is, let's say we had a loop and we want to use two variables. Okay, let's say we do a old press, let's say old button, new button. There's going to be some configuration you have to do to set variables. I'm not going to talk about that. I think you can figure it out yourself. We might want to say that when we start this loop, I want to say the old button is equal to the new button. And this is going to, update our old value. And then we're going to want to do something like, let's say new button. This is our digital read. And then what we want to check is to say, well, if old button is not equal to new button, something has happened there. We'll come back in here. And then inside, I want to check to see if the new button is equal to low. Maybe there's where I do press plus plus. Yes, we're going to do stuff like this. Okay, if we do this, let's look at, we're going to start here. If we start here, our last time we ran, we said new is equal to high. So that's what this is capturing here. New is equal to high. We're going to read the button. I read it and it says, okay, you're high, you're not being pressed. The old and the new are the same. So if the old and new are the same, we're going to skip all of that. At some point when I'm here, the old is high, and then the new is going to be low. So I said the old stuff, copy it in, get the new value. They're not equal to each other. I'm checking here to say that the new is low. I'm going to increment that I press. It will run again when it leaves, but in this case, your new is high, and your new high is no increment. Okay, so you got to do something like that to get your buttons that is not, as you hold it down, keep counting. All right, hopefully that should get you where you need to go to on your